オフシーズンではその圧倒した資金力と魅力的なチーム力で有力選手の獲得と契約延長に成功しているドジャース。その中心となる編成本部長のアンドリュー・フリードマン氏がドジャーステリトリーの番組に出演し、オフシーズンでの補強の成功や二刀流の定義が変わり大谷選手の価値がまた大きくなったことや今後の目標などを語っていました。
It's Andrew. Welcome to Dodgers territory. Two-time World Series champion, president of baseball ops for the Dodgers. It is great to see you.
You as well. Thanks for having me on.
No, I appreciate you very much. We were just talking about Kiké Hernandez, albeit not officially made by the Dodgers, but Kiké announced it himself. Looks like he's the 26th man on your roster, probably the last to sign. I tell you what, why is he such an important piece, Andrew, to what this team wants to achieve? We know that he lights up in the postseason, but why was this important for you? Because you had said at Dodgers Fest that the door is never closed on Kiké.
Yeah, I mean, that is how we feel. The door will never be closed on him. And, for him, it was about, he and Mariana taking time and figuring out what made the most sense for them. It wasn't something for us that if we were if not able to line up with Kiké where we were going to go, oh, here's the next best option. Like a lot of times you have a need, you're targeting a need, you have the player at the top of your list and then others. In this case, it was Kiké or nothing. Official yet, but obviously the impact he has made in October. On field, it was obvious. Off field, this past October may have been the most impressive displays of leadership I've ever seen. His connecting with different guys, going out of his way on a number of different fronts was quite possibly the most impressive leadership I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's impressive to see the man who, about a decade ago wore the banana suit, to see him grow and mature, to become like you said, the leader. It was very apparent during this postseason run, or this last postseason run. It was apparent when he put a little bit of a target on himself, talking to Ken Rosenthal, and maybe getting himself a little bit of a fine. That was fun for everybody. Kiké is just one part of the equation added to this team. You picked up a few infinity stones if you're reading the memes out there on the internet. Kiké, Snell, Tanner, Scott, Teoscar back. Thank you for that. Roki frickin' Sasaki. Did you guys hit on just about every point on your offseason checklist?
Just to close up on Kiké real quickly, it just goes to show nothing is impossible, because you pointed out the banana suit, and 10 years ago, if you would have said he is going to grow into this kind of leader, I would have bet a lot of money against. So it just goes to show things can play out differently than you assume and expect. But no, I just wanted to take a little dig at Kiké. But as far as the off season, it's not anything we take for granted. I've been doing this a really long time, and I've had a lot of A plans going into an off season. It's hard to make a deal. It's hard to sign a free agent. It's hard to make a trade. Those things are difficult. It's a really competitive industry, and there's 30 really smart teams all trying, to do similar-ish things. So it's really hard. And last offseason and this offseason, the off seasons have gone basically with our A plan, which is, quite possibly something that will never play out again in my career. Very, very fortunate, and it's not anything we take for granted at all.
Can you explain the situation and how things have kind of changed in terms of Shohei Ohtani and the whole, designated hitter and two-way player type of situation? If you look at it, either the current MLB season or any of the two previous seasons. So this has been a recent change as of February 7th. Can you explain what this means to our fan base?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the change February 7th, and that actually reads the same as my understanding of the rule.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the big change was it was the previous season before. Now, previous two seasons, MLB once again doing things to help the mighty Dodgers. Oh no.
Yeah, I guess if someone is out 2 seasons, that's pretty significant in and of itself. But yeah, the two-way designation is incredibly helpful. with the 13 pitcher limit.
Mm-hmm.
The two-way designation allows us to not count Shohei as a pitcher, which in turn allows us to have flexibility with our starting rotation and still maintain an 8-man bullpen. And that was part of our pitch to Roki, and something that we believed very strongly was no team was better equipped to bring him along in the major leagues than we were because of Shohei. And we have given starters extra rest in the past, and we've been pretty aggressive doing it. It's hard, and there's a friction that comes with it, especially now with the 5 option limit in each season. There's friction that comes with it. You're sending guys down, you're clicking along those 5 options, you're disrupting things a lot. Mm-hmm. We had determined in the past that what we felt like was some advantage, or at least most cautious approach for player health, was that. And so therefore it was worth it, but it wasn't costless. And, it just required us to communicate our way through it a lot. But it can be a little clumsy. But with Shohei, you can have an 8-man pen and so not put your relievers at risk. And you can have flexibility on the starting front. And so that, for us, with Shohei coming back from injury, with Yamamoto in his second year, with Roki, with other guys, Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin coming off injury, it just gives us some flexibility to read and react to what's going on and how guys are recovering, which we can't know as we're sitting here on February 10th.
It's crazy. You say all these names. We haven't even talked Tyler Glasnow in that mix as well. It's insane the amount of talent that this organization has been able to accrue, we'll say, over the last couple of off seasons. It's been a special time for Dodgers fans since Guggenheim took over, since you came aboard and started running this organization. A little bit more legacy, and then obviously we have a lot of things to look forward about in 2025. But I want to go back to when the Dodgers and you guys acquired Mookie Betts. And the extension. We had asked you at the time, hey, when are you building the Andrew Friedman statue? There's a lot of fans that would love to see the Andrew Friedman statue out there. But when you look at what you've done since the Mookie Betts trade and that extension, and in the decade since coming to LA, again, understatement to say it's been impressive, but you're not done yet. If you were to summarize the point of all this, if you were to summarize your first 10 years in LA here and looking forward, in a few words, describing what the next 10 years look like, how would you do that?
I stink at looking back. I'm just not very good at it. And I've joked that when I get fired, I will be able to look back and take stock on the things that we were able to accomplish as a group. But I'm not very good at it. I'm so focused looking ahead. And, I've talked about this some, but from a big picture standpoint, our goal is for when we look back on this period, for this to be considered the golden era of Dodger baseball. And that to me sets such an incredibly high bar that as long as we are striving for that and working towards that and trying to get better at everything we do, the more fulfilling and satisfying it is, more success that we'll have, etc. So I think that captures it as succinctly as I can.
All right, I'm going to follow. This one's for me then. If there were to be an Andrew Friedman statue, would it be the robe? It's got to be the robe.
I think it's more like maybe a desk statue. Maybe maybe a paperweight.
大谷選手は昨シーズンは投手登板がなかったことでルール変更がなければ二刀流登録できず開幕時点で投手登録となり、投手のロースターが1人少なくなるというデメリットが出てしまうため、ドジャースとファンにとっても嬉しいルール変更でしょう。フリードマン編成本部長の目標もドジャースの黄金期を作るということで、これからもドジャースの強いプレーを見ることができ本当に楽しみですね。